You have a job. Your bills are paid. Money comes in every month. So let me ask you one uncomfortable question. If your paycheck stopped tomorrow, how long would your life still work? Not your lifestyle. Most people don't like that question because deep down, they already know the answer. You were told that a stable income equals safety, that as long as you have a job, you're secure, that consistency is protection. But stability and security are not the same thing. And confusing them might be the most expensive mistake you'll ever make. You see, a stable income feels safe because it's predictable. Money shows up on schedule. Bills get paid. Life continues. But financial security isn't about what happens when everything goes right. It's about what happens when something goes wrong. And for most people, the moment income stops, even briefly, the entire system collapses. That's not bad planning. That's a fragile system pretending to be strong. Let's talk about what stable income actually means. It means you are consistently exchanging time for money. You show up, you work, you get paid. And as long as that loop continues, everything seems fine. But the moment that loop breaks, a layoff, a health issue, a company downsizing, a recession, the illusion disappears because income was never the safety net. It was the rope keeping you suspended. Here's the part no one explains. A job doesn't make you secure. It makes you dependent. Dependent on your health. Dependent on your employer. Dependent on the economy. Dependent on your ability to show up every day. And dependency is not security. Security is having margin. Security is having options. Security is being able to survive even when income pauses. Most people don't have that. The middle class is the perfect example. From the outside, everything looks stable. Cars, homes, vacations, subscriptions, a life that appears put together. But underneath that appearance is a dangerous reality. Most middle-class households are one emergency away from financial stress, not because they're irresponsible, but because their lives are built around income, not resilience. Income comes in, money goes out. There's very little left in the middle. Ask yourself this honestly. If your income disappeared for 6 months, what would happen? Would you adapt calmly or panic quietly? Would you make choices or take whatever option hurts the least? That answer tells you everything about your financial security. We were taught to chase income instead of structure. Get a better job, get a raise, climb the ladder. And while higher income can help, it often does something dangerous. It increases lifestyle faster than it increases safety. A raise doesn't automatically create freedom. It creates permission. Permission to spend more, permission to upgrade, permission to lock yourself in to higher fixed costs. Bigger apartment, better car, more obligations. Now you make more, but you need more. This is how people making $40,000 feel broke, and people making $140,000 feel broke. Different numbers, same pressure. Because the problem was never income, it was dependence. Financial security doesn't come from how much you earn. It comes from how little your life depends on your next paycheck. That's the difference no one teaches. Think about it this way. If your job disappeared tomorrow, but your life could continue mostly unchanged for a year, that's security. If losing your job would force immediate lifestyle collapse, that's fragility wearing a suit. The scariest part? Fragility feels normal because it doesn't scream, it whispers. Bills get paid, credit cards smooth over gaps, financing makes everything feel affordable. Nothing feels urgent until it is. And when urgency finally shows up, it shows up all at once. This is why emergencies feel catastrophic to people with stable incomes. Not because the emergency is large, but because there was no margin to absorb it. Margin is the difference between survival and panic, and most people live without it. Real financial security has very little to do with income and everything to do with structure. Low fixed costs, high savings rate, assets that don't require your presence to function, cash reserves, flexibility. These things don't look impressive on Instagram, but they quietly remove fear from your life. Income is loud. Security is quiet. That's why so many people chase the wrong one. Let's be clear. A job is not bad. Income is not bad. Stability is not useless, but it's incomplete. Income without margin is stress delayed. The goal isn't to stop working. The goal is to stop being fragile. To build a life where a bad month doesn't become a bad year, where a job loss doesn't become a life crisis, where decisions aren't driven by fear. And this is where the mindset shift happens. You stop asking, how can I make more money? And start asking, how long could I survive without it? That question changes everything. Suddenly, saving feels important. Not because it's responsible, but because it buys peace. Suddenly, lowering expenses feels powerful. Not because it's restrictive, but because it creates freedom. Suddenly, investing isn't about returns. It's about reducing dependence on labor. This is why wealthy people think differently. Not because they're smarter, but because they value margin more than lifestyle. They protect optionality. They avoid fixed costs. They build buffers. They don't optimize for looking successful. They optimize for being unbreakable. True financial security is boring. It's cash sitting quietly. It's an older car. It's saying no when others say yes. It's delayed gratification. And that's why most people never reach it. Because comfort is seductive. But once you build enough margin, something changes. Money stops feeling fragile. Problems feel smaller. Decisions feel calmer. Not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Stable income feels like safety until the day it disappears. And when it does, the people who survive aren't the highest earners. They're the ones who built security when nothing felt urgent. If there's one idea to take from this, it's this. Income is a tool. Security is a system. And confusing the two is how people work their entire lives and still feel unsafe. The goal isn't to be rich. The goal is to be okay even when things go wrong. That's real security. And once you understand that, you stop chasing stability and start building strength.